Welcome to part two. And if you can imagine, how could it get worse? Wait, there's more. There's more. So, just a little recap of what I left off on. I had closed my business. My ex roped me into some legal arbitration that I couldn't get out of, and I couldn't afford a lawyer. So, wait, there's more because much more. So, at the same time as this, I was looking for a job and I did get a job through a family connection. And I started in December of 2024. And this whole situation just made it so much worse. I started working for someone who had a small distribution company, not many employees, but I learned much later that he's the type of owner that stands on the backs of his employees, making sure that they get paid very little so that he can start support his millionaire lifestyle. So, as I'm starting this, he hired me as an office admin. But shortly after I started, he used my other managerial skills to do analysis in the business. He asked me to do an analysis of the aged order report because it was crazy out of control. It was $650,000 with over 60 days. And so it took me 3 days to analyze this, figure out the process, figure out what was wrong, talking to reluctant employees. And him and another manager, they sat on it for 4 months and they had no idea how to fix it and what to do. So I also have to note, just because it was all part of it, that he was not paying me a livable wage. So I was basically, I felt like just a rat, like on a rat race, like just racing to to die, like to not be able to survive. So uh it was not fun. Let's just say that. I overall, eventually, after about 2 weeks and looking at the age order report and figuring that out, I think he trusted my skills a little bit more. After about a month, he made me the operations manager and the sales manager, which was great. I loved it. I absolutely loved it, but he didn't increase my pay or change my title. So that was a problem, but I wasn't out of my probationary period. So I just left it to see what would happen. He threw me into training employees right away as well. We did some inventories, which he showed me. So he ran the first and second one. And then on top of that, he overfilled the forklift, the battery, and there was like a battery acid spill. And I thought he knew what he was doing with that. So that was kind of in his court, but there was battery acid spill all over the warehouse. After the first month as well, I have to know, after Christmas, he fired the shipping and receiving guy. And then he threw his sales staff into working in the warehouse doing shipping and receiving. On top of that, so the warehouse was a mess, the shipping receiving, because they took on this new product line and they didn't have it organized. And they didn't have any places like categories for or shelving, designated shelving spaces for inventory. And so when he fired the shipping and receiving guy, there were just boxes of product everywhere, like covering the warehouse. And that had to be sorted and organized before shipments could go out. So over the process of about 2 months, I had reorganized and redesigned 3 product lines in the warehouse, and also redesigned some of the process flow to make it easier for shipping and receiving, for picking and receiving, and move some stuff around in the warehouse. It worked out a lot better, but there was also, some nepotism. He hired this really young guy that was his best friend's son. And this guy was just, I'm going to try to be kind here. He knew nothing and was the laziest guy and got the most perks. So it was one of those. So this kind of owner, he would show up at like 10, 10:30, sometimes 11, and leave at 3:30 to go play hockey and take this young kid with him to fill in. And then he would make everyone else. He was very, very strict about time, and everyone had to log it for vacation. But this kid never had to log his vacation to go play hockey with him, like never log it as missed time in the office. So, with all that being said, after about 3 months, so I waited for 3 months to have some conversations with him about a pay raise that matched what I was actually doing in the company. And it was just really interesting because he would tell me like, "Oh, get me the job posting of something that you think is comparable, and I'll take a look at it." So he kind of blew me off twice, and then there was a meeting that we're having over employee planning and also future business growth strategy. And at the end of the meeting, this is when I really, dug in about the pay raise and where I would fit in the company. And the company really worked better. I didn't mind that he didn't show up till late because everyone actually worked a lot better without him there, because he would just come and yell at people if there were any mistakes, and it just really ran better without him there. So after after or during this meeting, he started to gaslight me and start blaming things on me that were not my fault, or it was just part of a business process, like just an adjustment. It wasn't really a big deal, or there was something about inventory. He blamed me for costing the company $10,000 when the first inventory was wrong and the second inventory was wrong and the third inventory was an adjustment back. So in the first inventory, he gained like $5,000. In the second inventory, he gained $5,000. But in the third inventory, it showed a loss of 10,000, which was just a correct adjustment to where it should have been. But I mean, after all of this gaslighting, and I that's when I really understood the direction he was going, that he was never going to pay me what I was worth. And he was just going to keep me in this role. We had brought on a shipper receiver because there were other people that came in that just weren't, that he hired, that just weren't going to work out. And we had another like admin assistant in the office that was working out. But I think, yeah, he was just not going to pay me more. So I had decided after that meeting, without telling him, that I was going to look for another job while I worked there. So I would just keep working there. Oh, and I also forgot to mention that, I was working a lot in the back trying to get things sorted and doing overtime because I'm a team player. I thought, okay, I'll be a team player and I'll put in this overtime because this is what's needed. And you know, it it was it wasn't appreciated. That was the other thing that I learned. But in the end, in the very end, one other employee had gone to him and told him some fake news. Let's call it fake news, and he didn't sit down with me and have a conversation with me. Actually, I was so exhausted. And so my eyes were like, I had these dark circles. I was just feeling so fatigued. I couldn't even climb the stairs anymore. It was just not my usual energetic self at work. And I was like, I need to take some vacation. So I took 2 days of vacation at the end of the week because I just really needed it. And I was burned out. And while I was on vacation, while I had these vacation days, he terminated me without even having a discussion with me, nothing. It was crazy. It was super crazy. And I can provide an update in part 3 and what happened after that point, but that was in March of last year, 2025, that I was terminated without cause, just, just this crazy, like kind of emotional, reactive termination. And from there, I'd really love to hear any stories that you guys have, anything that's happening in your life, so I can read it on the channel and post. This is new for me, but I'm going to try and have some new views for you guys and some some different stories for you as well. So we'll check you out later.